Akash. Thank you for spending time with Motorindia. We are at Busworld India Conclave 2026. And how important is such a conference for bus industry stakeholders?
What a wonderful place to be in today to see all the big operators of India, all the top CEOs of this very evolving nascent bus industry, not only on normal products but electric products.
True.
All the policymakers and the general public here. I think it's a great platform. The bus industry has reshaped itself, especially in the last 10 years. It would never have been possible for all of us to sit here in Yashobhumi
Correct.
and get together as stakeholders and talk about very serious matters of how we are reducing the fossil fuel print, how are we making PPP more successful, how are we going to use technology for the benefit of the traveling public.
Correct.
So from that aspect, what a great day. Happy to be here.
Certainly. And as someone who has noticed the evolution of bus in India, of course, one at a side where you were at an OEM, and now that you look the whole picture from the supplier point, what is the current demand drivers or growth trends that you see in country right now?
I think India is talking.
Okay.
India is shaping. And as I don't say this only as a proud Indian, but I also say this as what the world is speaking today. Every segment in India, especially after the government has announced in September the GST reduction, there is some new shape all around. And we see that the passenger car movement is moving up 20-22%. Commercial vehicle industry, including buses, has moved 30-35%.
Correct.
We see that the tractor industry is still holding up. Two-wheeler, three-wheeler industry is still holding up in spite of doing very well for the last 2-3 years. So there is something happening. We are truly moving towards Viksit Bharat. There seems to be clear determination, most importantly for people to do things in India.
Correct.
Make it locally fit rather than run only for making products which are well known worldwide. And I think this is the change I see.
Okay.
And I see that reflecting also on the bus industry. I think it has had good 2-3 years run. And I think that the next 10 years are where public transport will play a very meaningful role. Reduction of fossil fuel will play a very meaningful role. And therefore, whatever we do here today and discuss today is going to shape the future of India, at least on public mobility.
Correct. And someone who supplies to the OEMs and understands the nature of the diesel buses and the electric buses, we still talk about a lot of challenges. But are there any opportunities that you think India should tap immediately tomorrow and should continue to harvest on that?
Well, I think as leader of ZF in India, I would say that we need to shape ourselves much faster.
Okay.
Because this is the time when the industry is moving from fossil fuel to new technologies. And ZF stands as a buzzword for technology. Whether it is electric products with e-axles, e-compressors, the digitization systems, the scalar systems and so on and so forth. And we need to offer that to our customers, which we do today, but we need to localize more, we need to source more out of India, we need to bring it to the price point where it is meaningful for the customer. For example, in the bus industry, 63,000 buses already ordered, only 16,000 on road. Volume is available.
True.
This will not go down. So how soon can we shape this new technology and make it fit to market on different segments of electrification or other alternate technologies is the challenge and the good possibility we have for our growth in future.
Correct. And I mean, speaking to OEMs and the operators as well, what do they want immediately, whether infra or incentives? For someone like you who handle things from the supplier standpoint, what do you think? Is it the scale, scope of demand that you look at, or the margins?
I think for an operator, the most important thing is always does not have the wherewithal of a large government or infrastructure.
True.
So profitability is extremely important. And therefore, this change coming in India of people having a short-term view versus a long-term view on the products they use is a good change for me as a supplier as ZF. Because then they are able to appreciate the technology I offer, which will have a longer life, low cost of maintenance, and in the long run will pay more. And I think that operators really have started to look into that.
Correct.
Because if you look at, especially at electric, all the bus segments, or especially in city buses, 10 to 12-year PPP contract.
True.
So you have to have something which is sturdy, and that is where we as a supplier can play a big role to make things happen for the operators.
Great. Wonderful insights, Akash. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.